Alright guys, welcome back, and in this example I am going to be showing you guys the first type of layout that you can use with GTK, and that is the grid layout. Now, as I'm sure you guys can guess, a grid layout is a way that you can lay out your widgets using rows and columns. So it's pretty simple to understand, one of the easiest in my opinion. So the first thing you need to do is, if you call GTK grid, then there you go. So this is our layout, and let's just go ahead and add it to the screen before we can start adding our widgets. So basically we make a blank grid, and then we make a bunch of widgets, and then we need to pretty much give each widget a coordinate of where it's supposed to be in the grid. And there's some other cool things that we can do too. So I'll just create a bunch of buttons, or create a bunch of buttons. I'll create 6 of them. So button 1, GTK button, and I'll just keep things real simple. So just say button 1, and I'll just copy this. Alright, button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Dun 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 dun. Alright, boom, roasted. So we got 6 buttons looking sweet. Now for the first one, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it without any coordinates at all. I'm just going to say we have a grid, and we're just going to add button 1. Now, just saying that, and this is what I always do for my first one, by default it places it in the top left. I mean, I guess it's just there, not on the top left. It's the only thing on our grid right now. But I like to add this first because this button 1 is going to be a reference point whenever we add our other buttons. And you can actually add them in different kinds of ways as we're going to be seeing. But the one of the easiest ways is if you call grid attach, then this is a way that you can add more widgets to it. So this takes a couple parameters. First, what else do you want to add to the grid? Well, how about button 2? We want that one to display too. So button 2, and it actually takes 5 parameters. That's just the first. The second one is what column? Well, I'll tell you guys all the parameters. So what item do you want to add? Button 2, the column, the row, and you can also give it a width and a height, or in other words, column span or row span if you're familiar with HTML. So basically, and remember this, since computers start counting at 0, your first row is the 0 and your first column as well. So if you want it to appear in the second column or the second row, that's actually 1. So I'm going to write 1 right here, and that's going to appear in the second column. So, you know, that's just remember that. So the next thing I want to do is I want this to appear in the top row, because I just want this button 2 right next to button 1, just on the right hand side. So in the very first row, that's 0. So it's going to appear in the second column, in the top row, or the first row. And now I'm actually want to make this twice as wide. So I'm just going to write a width of 2, and I'll just write a height of 1. Now this is actually technically called column span and row span, but it's the same thing as the width and the height. So now we have button 2 that's to the right of button 1, and it's twice as wide. Simple enough. Now that is grid attach, and let me tighten this up just a wee bit. All right, so I have button 2 and button 1 added. Another thing that you can do is if you just don't want to give it the coordinates like this, and this can get kind of confusing if you have a lot of widgets, you can actually position these in reference to other widgets. So what if you just want to say we want to add button 3, but we want to position it in reference to button 1? Well, what we can do is we can call grid attach next to. So this one was attached, this one was attached next to, and this also takes some other parameters. The first one is, all right, what widget are you trying to add to the screen? Button 3. Didn't add that one yet. And now the other ones is what object should it be placed next to? Well, let's just position this in reference to button 1. And here, let me type this first. So GTK position type bottom. All right. So this next parameter after this is it's saying, okay, I know you're trying to add 3 next to button 1, but how do you want it to be positioned next to it? To the right of it, to the left of it, on top of it, below it? Well, I want button 3 to be below button 1, so that's why I said bottom right here. So in reference to button 1, how do you want it to be positioned? And the last 2 parameters are the same, so I'm just going to write like a 1 and 2. So it's going to have a default width of 1, and I'll make it twice as tall as normal, just so you guys can see that, you know, you can change it up a bit. And actually, let me pause my video, and I won't make you guys watch me do this. Alright, so I also added my other buttons right here. I didn't want to talk you guys through that because, I don't know, I already explained it like 1 second ago. Don't want to repeat myself, didn't want to have to put you guys through that. But there you go, added all 6 buttons. Hopefully I did it right, and check it out. So here's button 1, that's the one we just added. Make sure I don't lose that. So button 1, we just added it to the grid, nothing, you know, we didn't even give it any coordinates or anything, and that's why it appeared in the top left right here. Now for button number 2, what we did is we attached it to the grid, and we gave it a coordinate of 1, 0, which means the second column, the first row, or the top row, and we also gave it the last 2 parameters of 2, 1, which means a width of 2 and a height of 1. So that's why it was twice as wide as the other ones. And remember, this third one for button 3, right here, we attached it next to button 1, and we said to the bottom of it, so that's why it's below bottom 1, and we gave it a width and a height of 1 and 2. So a width of 1 and a height of 2. And then the rest of these, you guys can look, see how I position those, but there you go. So in this example, I probably made it more confusing than it really is. But the cool thing about this is you only have to get your layout once, and then, you know, you don't have to like change it, or you're not going to be like moving these buttons around usually. So it's better just to actually write it down on a piece of paper. That's what I always do. I know it's kind of cheating, but it makes it a lot easier, and then yeah, you can visually see exactly where everything needs to go. And to be honest, I usually just use attach every single time, because attach next to kind of gets confusing whenever you have a complicated layout. So just use this, and it's basically like playing Battleship with your widget. So boom roasted, good to go. This is almost too easy. And in the upcoming tutorials, I'll show you guys some other types of layouts that may be a little bit easier for your application. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.